In Babysitter Might Have Done It news, a babysitter who had previously claimed that a toddler had been injured by falling down while running has been charged with murder after police find an additional victim. Yeah, that's kind of a clue. This I'm sorry that your toddler is dead and all. They fell down while running, and I just was too late to catch them. I couldn't reach them in time. I'm devastated. I'm so sorry your toddler is dead. It's a tragedy to us all. We can't help noticing that there seems to be bodies in your wake. So maybe it's murder. So let's charge you with murder. Let's find out a little bit more about this. A 37-year-old woman in California has been arrested more than 2 months after she allegedly beat a 15-month-old child to death while babysitting the toddler at her home, leading investigators to discover that she'd severely injured at least one more child under her care. Context clues, peoples. We can't help noticing this 15-month-old child seems to have lots of bruises on their body. It's because they fell down while running. The 15-month-old? The 15-month-old fell down while running. The 15th-month-old. And fell down in a way that caused all these bruises. Yep, they sure did. We can't help noticing that there was another child that's also been severely injured. Yeah, they also fell down while running. It happens a lot. Heather Greenman over here taken to custody last week in charge with murder, child abuse, and child abuse resulting in death. According to a press release from Beaumont Police Department, the investigation in Greenman began on the afternoon of April 26, 2023, where the Riverside Coroner Office reached out to the police department in connection with the suspicious death. The coroner taking a look at the body can be like, there are some clues here that are suggestive to me that there might be a little bit more going on. Police department, you might want to take a second look at this one. The coroner's office notified the investigators the child had suffered a severe head injury while in the care of the babysitter. Yeah, I've got some concerns over here as the coroner. Things don't seem quite right. I think maybe something might be a little bit more afoul. Investigators learned that Greenman on April 26th had called 911 and reported the child she was taking care of had fallen down while running and bumped her head into the home. The 15-month-old fell while running and hit their head in a way that caused severe trauma. The toddler was transported to a local hospital for treatment, where doctors said the child had suffered bleeding in the brain and swelling of the head, but the victim, of course, died. After extensive investigation into the circumstances of the death by the police department, that included the execution of multiple search warrants, detectives say they were able to locate a second victim who had allegedly suffered severe injuries. Seems like you got a little pattern of problems in your wake there. Either you are the worst babysitter of all time, or you were an abuser. Either way, probably shouldn't be doing your job. Maybe the babysitting isn't for you. Maybe, did you consider that maybe the babysitting isn't for you? There are other professions, man. There are other professions. I know that child's yelling and screaming can be trying. I mean, I understand being frustrated by children, but did you maybe conclude the babysitting wasn't for you? Maybe find a job that was a little bit, maybe some office work or something? No? Okay. Officers were able to locate a second child, a 2-year-old, who had suffered severe injuries while in Greenman's care but had not been previously reported. That child was taken care of at the family's home, but not hospitalized at the time. So the police department, talking to all the previous parents of the babysitters, is like, hey, has your child been injured at any time? Well, as a matter of fact, they were. Our child had been severely injured. We didn't take them to the hospital. We were able to take care of it at home, but there were a lot of injuries. It was quite a fall that our toddler had, our 2-year-old. We got some bad news for you. Greenman was originally taken into custody on charges of child abuse and child abuse resulting in death, but after the Riverside County District Attorney reviewed the case, they upped it to first-degree murder. You've seen the police are like, how about child abuse? The prosecutor's like, how about first-degree murder? Yeah. She was taken into custody in Springview Banning and booked, where she's currently being held on $1 million bond. Investigators emphasize the investigation agreement remains ongoing, and detectives believe there's likely additional victims. Yeah, that sounds likely. You know, probably some other victims too. The police would like to learn more about other people that Greenman maybe was a babysitter of. Had Greenman been a babysitter for you, we'd really like to talk to you because we think that, probably some other victims, we'd like to, look into that. So if anyone who happens to have any information on this or has ever had Greenman as a babysitter ever should probably contact the police immediately. Yeah. Thus, that brings us to the end of the story about a babysitter who apparently is running their way through various children over here and has finally gotten caught. The child fell down from running, even though they're 15-month old, so severely they had massive head trauma. We can't help noticing that there's other people involved in this who have also suffered at your hand. So how about first-degree murder? Maybe babysitting isn't the right career for you. Also, the police are looking for more information about Heather Greenman. So if you happen to know a Heather Greenman, you probably should contact the police department. If Heather Greenman has ever been around any of your kids, probably should call the police because they may have some information, or you may have some information that needs to be shared. But at least for the moment, that has to bring us to the end of discussion of this story.